Hello everybody and welcome to the table. Today we are checking out right here the Arkfield Pro. And so the Arkfield Pro that I just picked up, this is one of the newest releases from Olight because the original Arkfield has been around for a while. This one being the Pro version does have slightly more features, so we can just see the labeling right there, portable everyday carry flashlight with 3 light sources. So we're going to kind of look at that, make some comparisons, but I thought it was worth taking a look at this light. So I had resisted picking up the Arkfield prior, simply because I questioned the utility of the light, and so that's kind of still a question on my mind right here, and it's going to be one that you have to answer for yourself. But what do we have? We have an everyday carry flashlight, and that category is kind of categorized by, something slightly thin with a pocket clip. That's kind of in the vein of a type of pocket clip you get on a pocket knife. And the idea is something that you can just slide in your pocket, carry with you every day, and it's not a big, round, bulky flashlight. So the Arkfield Pro, of course, makes itself known. It has 3 different light sources there, so check out the dial. We have a regular light, a laser pointer, and a UV light. And so there's just a simple button action right here. So you've selected that button, and whatever the dial is on is what turns on. So we can see flashlight, laser pointer, UV light. So kind of interesting, you can switch it while the button is pressed. So pressing the button again turns it off. So what's most useful, of course, about this light is going to, of course, be the actual flashlight feature. So switching it over to the flashlight, we can see the brightness here. It does remember the last setting you used, but there is a turbo as well. So you can kind of cycle through and get that. So you see like a low, medium, high type of deal. There we go. So the turbo nice and bright. Turbo is not going to last forever, and if you do keep it in the turbo mode, next time you turn the light on, it doesn't always remember that setting, especially if you've let the light sit for more than a few minutes, so I'm sure there's a timeout to that. But again, the throw on this light is pretty comparable to what we have with our other lights on the table, because today we're also going to check out the Streamlight Wedge and the Coast Slayer. So the turbo is definitely comparable, but the regular high mode on the light is definitely going to be a little bit dimmer in my opinion. And I think those are just one of the compromises they had to make when you're making a 3-in-1 light, what's going to give. So you kind of have to decide for yourself, if this light is worth it. Of course, this one right here is this kind of crazy zombie colored pattern. I think it looks cool. I actually really do like the color pattern, and I like that about Olight. They're definitely into colors. They know that people like having these kind of unique looking items, so having the blood spatter, not for everybody, but they also have it in black and in other colors also. And I'm sure they're going to continue to come out with new colors, new options. If you look at the original Arkfield, that thing comes in like a rainbow of colors and options for you. So this 3-in-1 light are the options worth it for you? We have the green laser pointer, and I will admit the laser pointer is actually pretty strong. I know it doesn't really come across on camera, but this is definitely stronger than most laser pointers you're going to pick up like at an office store or something like that. It does actually display on a TV, because that's one of the things that I've noticed using a laser pointer. If you point it at a TV on a PowerPoint presentation, the pointer often disappears because the way modern LCDs are made, they kind of absorb the laser light. But this one is actually bright enough, it does display on a television that happens to be on. So that's kind of cool in terms of presentation purposes. But again, laser pointer, if that's something of utility for you, it's on here. But we also do have a UV light. And so for those of you who don't know what a UV light even is, it's kind of, again, it's almost a gimmick to me, because the UV light, it can see like, I'll say human, human or animal, biological stains. They kind of light up. So imagine like a crime scene, you light up a room with it, you could see where like blood spatter and things of that nature are going to be hidden to the naked eye. They'll be viewable under a UV light. Again, do all of us really need that in everyday life? Not necessarily. If your profession requires that, or if it's useful for you, totally it's here. But we see these 2 sensors on here. We have the light and the UV. It makes me wonder what else they could have put in here if they didn't include the UV light. So, and again, here's my suggestion. If you really do need a UV light, a dedicated UV light, right here, Coast makes an excellent UV light. This is the PX300, so we can see these 2 side by side right here. Again, a traditional round flashlight, but we have this really nice strong UV light in here. And this one runs circles around the Arkfield Pro in terms of beam strength. I mean, I don't know if you can see the difference there, but I mean, one is clearly stronger than the other. And this is, let me turn them off. And this one right here, in addition to the UV light, it actually does have a nice little flood as well. So again, not the most convenient to carry size, but again, if you really need this actual UV light, there are options out there dedicated and a lot cheaper than the Arkfield Pro. So this one again is the Coast PX300. But again, it's one of those things. Do you need it? Do you not need it? Do you like the form factor enough to carry it in this size? The form factor, though, is really what drew me to this light, because it is very comparable, in my opinion, to these two lights on the table. So let me just put these all side by side briefly here. Like in terms of overall thickness, of course, we have the Arkfield Pro, and right here we have the Streamlight Wedge. So you can see the thickness there. It really is, it's a little bit thicker at the bottom because of that magnetic charger design. Right up here, you can see they're pretty comparable. The Arkfield Pro a little bit shorter, but again, both feel pretty good in hand. Again, the wedge is not quite as utilitarian, I guess. It's just a light, keeping it simple. Just have a light. We do have a deep carry pocket clip on both models. It's reversible on the wedge. And on this one right here, it's not reversible to either side, but we can see there's this this clip here that lets you use this like on a ball cap or something. So it's nice and deep carry for pocket use. Has the ball cap clip right there, so you can use it like as a headlamp if you had to. So I do like that utility of this clip, so that's kind of cool. The Coast Slayer also has a deep carry clip as well. A little bit of a different design, not reversible. Again, all functional. It just depends on what suits your needs the best, really, in my opinion. Where the Arkfield Pro is really awesome, though, I do love the magnetic charger. If you've ever owned anything Olight, you know the magnetic chargers are just kind of ubiquitous with the brand, and so that alone makes it totally worth it. And you might worry, like, hey, you know, what if I lose this charger? Am I out of luck? You know, and if you're into the Olight ecosystem at all, like me, you probably have tons of these little chargers laying around. So for like me, that's not a use case issue. But if this is your one and only Olight, it might be a concern if you lose the charger. I mean, they are cheap to replace. And of course, Olight does that because they want you to invest in their ecosystem and buy a lot more Olight products that use the same magnetic charger. But it's just so convenient for the magnetic charger to just pop on, pop off, and you know when it's charged. I also really do like the battery charge system right there, the little indicator lights. That's kind of cool. So you can see exactly how much charge you have left in your battery. The other lights also do that as well, just with the little color-coded light there. This one right here, it actually lights up when it's charging. So there are indicators for that as well on all these lights, but I do like the little 4-dot indicator right here. In the end, you know, what we have here is a totally functional flashlight. You know, do I wish it had more color options? You know, we can see that it cycle through low, medium, high, low, medium, high, and then the turbo. Kind of cool. You can really feel the heat coming off of it in the turbo mode. The turbo mode is like 1300 lumens, which is again very comparable to what these other lights can do. But again, the turbo mode is going to be a very limited time deal as well. I do like this light. I kind of regret getting it in this really cool zombie green color because it makes me less willing to carry it in places like work and stuff like that where, you know, it might offend. But it's really definitely a fun if you're going out and it's a kind of like a showpiece and you just kind of want to pass it around and let people mess around with the laser pointer. And I'm guessing, you know, for parties and stuff, the UV light might be a fun trick to see all the fluids and nasty stuff that are, you know, hanging around you may not even be aware of. But there are totally other options out there for UV lights. And the Arkfield Pro comes in around this $70-ish mark. In fact, all three of these lights on the table come around the same price point. Look to pay on sale about $70-ish for any three of these lights. And those prices, of course, will vary wildly based on sales and things like that. But I definitely think it's worth comparing these lights to one another. I mean, you can see the thicknesses right there. You know, very much comparable. This is the Slayer, the Wedge, and the Arkfield Pro. If I had to say anything down about this light, it does have a lockout feature because this button is very easy to press accidentally. you know, so you can hold this button down and it will lock the light out. So you can see there, red light means that it will not turn on accidentally in your pocket, because you can easily slide this in, something jostles that button, but now you have to hold it down and specifically want to turn the thing on and off. So there's that. Lockout feature is cool. I just wish the button wasn't quite so pronounced and easy to press and turn on and off, you know, but that's really the only negative I have to say about this thing. So we can just make these comparisons. And if you have any questions, of course, leave a comment below. Would love to hear from you. Hope you all have a great day, and we will see you later. Have a good one. Bye.